What's up, guys? I have no idea how this setup's gonna work. It's pretty echoey in here, but my place is a mess, and this is the only place I can sit against my wall. Enjoy this view of my extension cords and a paint bucket here. Today I figured I'd be trying a new type of video where I'm reacting to TED Talks. I know this doesn't seem like super entertaining for those of you that don't like TED Talks. Maybe this content isn't for you, that's okay. I would just still say there's different kinds of content that I try all the time, and if you're willing to stick around for it, I would greatly appreciate it. So I guess the backstory really quickly is that I love TED Talks. They're so fascinating, and it's this perfect mixture that I love about like stuff on the internet and people going and speaking about things that they know is like it's half professionals and half experienced. Learners. So it's a great medium point between both. So you really never know what you're going to get until you dive into the backstory of who's speaking. I picked a random video today. I figured it would tie nicely with the content I've been making lately, especially about philosophies of life and how you should live it. I also think that the speaker is absolutely adorable and has really great messaging outside of TED Talks, but I'm going to let them do their speaking and we're going to jump into that. So, this is kind of a new style of commentary and reaction. If you guys like this content, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Give this a thumbs up. The more we can push the algorithm, the better. If not, give it a dislike and let me know why or why not. They do help. Even the criticisms and the positive critiques that show me that you don't like this content, help me create better content, and they also push my video to the algorithm, which most people don't know. So without further ado, I guess we'll get into that. I have no idea if I put this down how well this is going to sound, but we will see.
I'm Sam, and I just turned 17. A few years ago, before my freshman year in high school, I wanted to play snare drum in the Foxborough High School marching band. However, and it was a dream that I just had to accomplish, but each snare drum and harness weighed about 40 pounds each. And I have a disease called Progeria, so just to give you an idea, I weigh about only 50 pounds. So logistically, I really couldn't carry a regular-sized snare drum. And because of this, the band director assigned me to play pit percussion during the halftime show. Now, pit percussion was fun. It involved some really cool auxiliary percussion instruments like the bongos, timpani, and timbales and cowbell. So it was fun. But it involved no marching, and I was just so devastated. However, nothing was going to stop me from playing snare drum with the marching band in the halftime show.
See, I need to pause. I love this. There's something so rare about people like Sam that you don't see very often in younger children, especially at the age of 17, or he may have been younger than that. It's so hard to find that in high schoolers, especially that they know that they're unhappy with their life and they immediately go out for something better and change their life without having to be told from like external forces or people that they need to. But not everyone's like that. I just think it's so amazing that we can find people like this that are just immediately aware of issues and go out and change their lives. Like, I was definitely not this person. I, for sure, did not understand that when my life was crappy, that my life was actually crappy and I could do everything to change it. I blamed everyone else. I blamed religion. I blamed my parents. I blamed the people I was dating at the time. I blamed my inability to cope with things. Like, I never truly blamed myself. And I love the people that can recognize this, especially at a young age, and go out for the things that they like and just change their whole life up. Even though this is so small of a thing to most people, obviously to Sam this was a very big thing, and I love that he recognized this. It takes a special kind of intelligence for people to do this, and not everyone has it, especially at such a young age.
So my family and I worked with an engineer to design a snare drum harness that would be lighter and easier for me to carry. And so after continuous work, we made a snare drum apparatus that weighs only about 6 pounds. I'm just going to give you some more information about progeria. It affects only about 350 kids today worldwide, so it's pretty rare. And effects of progeria include tight skin, lack of weight gain, stunted growth, and heart disease. Last year, my mom and her team of scientists published the first successful progeria treatment study. And because of this, I was interviewed on NPR. And John Hamilton asked me the question, what is the most important thing that people should know about you? And my answer was simply that I have a very happy life.
See, that's just, I can't reiterate this enough. Someone to be that young and understand that they are happy and content. It's not even like being content. I just said contempt. It's not that they're content with their life, it's they know they're happy. And most people cannot understand that, especially in the teenage age where it's filled with hormones and drama, and high school's full of it. But to have that kind of intelligence and self knowledge about who you are and to be that happy is so important that some people don't find it at all in their lifetime, let alone at the age of 17. That's incredible. I just, Sam is truly, truly an inspiration. I love this video already. I've never seen this video. There are some TED Talks I've seen. This is not one of them.
So, even though there are many obstacles in my life, with a lot of them being created by progeria, I don't want people to feel bad for me. I don't think about these obstacles all the time, and I'm able to overcome most of them anyway. So, I'm here today to share with you my philosophy for a happy life. So, for me, there are three aspects to this philosophy. So, this is a quote from the famous Ferris Bueller. The first aspect to my philosophy is that I'm okay with what I ultimately can't do because there's so much that I can do. Now, people sometimes ask me questions like, isn't it hard living with progeria? Or what daily challenges of progeria do you face? And I'd like to say that even though I have progeria, most of my time is spent thinking about things that have nothing to do with progeria at all.
See, and I would like to say that that's a profound thing. And for someone 17, I would say that that is something pretty profound for them to acknowledge so early in their life and so young. But I think we really understand this at a basic level, or most people do. It's very easy to be caught up in the labels that we associate with each other or society gives us or whatever, especially with our challenges, like a 50-year-old woman who's divorced and that's a divorced woman. No, it's a woman who has been through a divorce and is now moving on with her life. It's a life stage, you know? And I think the hard thing is for someone with like Sam with progeria is when it's a life altering, a life defining disease like that, it's so easy for everyone else to create that as a label that defines you. And instead, people, it's so much easier, I think, that people take the labels so they can rip the humanity away from a person. So it's much easier to engage with them and talk with them instead of having that one ailment being their complete defining factor. And it gets them to be a little easier. But in reality, people end up talking about this so much anyway, it does become a defining factor. And that's just awful, really. But I think it's showing a true factor that we need to change as people and how we speak and engage with each other. And I think it's a huge thing for me. Communication is really big with people in my life, and I hope to talk more about communication and how we can change that for other people as well at some point in the future. I do have a few videos planned, and that's part of them. A lot of that also ties into my podcast. Shameless plug. I think it's hard for me to sit there and watch these things happen because it's so easily done and it's done on a daily basis to so many people, almost everybody, that it turns my stomach and I can't really get past it personally because it makes me so upset for them. And I wish it wasn't the way it is, but Basically, all I can do is help educate and talk and create discussions, which is the whole reason why I'm making these videos in the first place. For me, that's my life purpose. It's what makes me happy if I can impact one person. So I can understand why that would be irritating to Sam to be defined simply by his ailment. And I say ailment instead of disease and that kind of stuff because it's still it's another label. I prefer the term ailment. That may not be very PC of me, but I would like a better term. Please educate me below if you have a better term. But ailment seems the most appropriate to me um, because it's not quite so labelistic and it's not quite so negative at the core, if that makes sense. If you have a better term, go ahead and leave it alone. But yeah.
Now, this doesn't mean that I ignore the negative aspects of these obstacles. When I can't do something like run a long distance or go on an intense roller coaster, I know what I'm missing out on. But instead, I choose to focus on the activities that I can do through things that I'm passionate about, like scouting or music or comic books or any of my favorite Boston sports teams. Yeah. So, however, sometimes I need to find a different way to do something by making adjustments, and I want to put those things in the can do category, kind of like you saw with the drum earlier.
Okay. See, I love that. I think there's three things that we can't control in life, and you'll hear me say this, and I'm so sorry at this point, it should be on a t shirt, but life, death, and taxes are the only things we really can't control. Um, we were never asked to be put on this earth. We never want to go from this earth, it seems, and some people that may not be the case, but we can't prevent that. And at least in America, we all have to do taxes. So um, there's pretty much the only three things we can't control, short of maybe a fourth being other people's actions. That is pretty much it. Everything else you can do. And if there's things that you feel like you want to change, you can do those things. It's just you need to figure out a new way to make that work, either for the lifestyle you have now or to somehow change your lifestyle that you have into something better. And this is part of the reason I wanted to do this TED Talk, just solely, I picked from the title. So I solely picked this episode from the title. I speak a lot about life philosophies and I like them. I think they're very fascinating and they make me think harder about mine and what I project to other people. I still believe this to be true though. And we can change these things. I can empathize with people and for them thinking, no, it's much harder. The compromises aren't worth it. I have to sacrifice so much. I really truly think now, and I did not agree with this when I was in high school, I thought everything was beyond my control. And I think most people feel that way, is that we can control these things. We just need to think of a new way of doing it. And I think it's just a change of perspective and how we view situations. And the way Sam talks about this in his version is that he changes the way his problems or the things that he wants to do, he has to make a new alternative on how to approach them. And that's exactly what we mean by um, changing your life and going through the processes in different ways so that they better suit your life and how you do it. Because not all people are going to react the same way in the exact same situation. So, I mean, it really solely depends on you.
So here's a clip with me playing SpiderMan with the Foxborough High School marching band at halftime a couple years ago. Thank you. All right. So that was pretty cool. And so I was able to accomplish my dream of playing snare drum with the marching band, as I believe I can do for all of my dreams. So hopefully you can accomplish your dreams as well with this outlook. The next aspect to my philosophy is that I surround myself with people that I want to be with, people of high quality.
I think that's pretty much what most people would tell you is that you really truly adapt to who you surround yourself with. And if you're unhappy, it very well could be you, and it very well could be the toxic people or the negative people in your life that are not enhancing your life. It could just be that they're not bad people. It's just they're not enhancing your life to make it to where you want it to be. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with cutting them down, especially in number or whatever. Um, I know for some people, if they start on social media very early, that's very hard to do, especially if they're teenagers and they get wrapped up in this culture. I'm not excluded from that. It's hard not to take validation from the numbers. However, it does not equivalent to the amount of good people you have in your life. I think a lot of it comes with person to person interactions, especially for introverts like myself. If you find yourself drained by a lot of people, then you need to have really positive influences in your life that recharge you rather than drain you. And it's not an easy thing to do, and it takes a lot of experience, especially, um, and a lot of empathy because not everyone's going to be a positive influence all the time. But it is what it is.
I'm extremely lucky to have an amazing family who have always supported me throughout my entire life. And I'm also really fortunate to have a really close group of friends at school. Now, we're kind of goofy. A lot of us are band geeks, but we really enjoy each other's company and we help each other out when we need to. We see each other for who we are on the inside. So, this is us goofing off a little bit. And so, we're juniors in high school now, and we can now mentor younger band members as a single collective unit. What I love about being in a group like the band is that the music that we make together is true, it's genuine, and it supersedes Progeria. So I don't have to worry about that when I'm feeling so good about making music. But even having made a documentary and going on TV a couple times, I feel like I'm at my highest point when I'm with the people that surround me every day. They provide the real positive influences in my life, as I hope that I can provide a positive influence in theirs as well. Thank you. So the bottom line here is that I hope that you appreciate and love your family, love your friends, for you guys, love your bros, and acknowledge your mentors and your community, because they are very real aspects of everyday life that can make a truly significant positive impact. So, the third aspect to the philosophy is keep moving forward. Here's a quote by a man you may know named Walt Disney, and it's one of my favorite quotes. I always try to have something to look forward to, something to strive for to make my life richer. It doesn't have to be big. It could be anything from looking forward to the next comic book to come out, or going on a large family vacation, or hanging out with my friends, to going to the next high school football game. However, all of these things keep me focused and know that there's a bright future ahead and may get me through some difficult times that I may be having. Now, this mentality includes staying in a forward-thinking state of mind. I try hard not to waste energy feeling badly for myself, because when I do, I get stuck in a paradox where there's no room for any happiness or any other.
All right, see, I changed my mind immediately. Sam, if you're watching this, you're wise. You're wise as hell. I to understand this at such a young age, and regardless if this is credit to his mentors or his parents or whoever's in his life or just his forward thinking, he's so the way he dictates this is so wise beyond his years because most people would not understand this at the age of 17. He's again truly an inspiration, and it's not for the fact that he has this ailment and he has this mentality on top of it. It's the fact that he has this mentality to begin with. It has nothing to do with his progeria. And I think most people can't understand that kind of logic, is that it's not because of the ailment or the disease or whatever ails him in the moment. It's the fact that he can have this mentality at the age of 17. Like, I truly don't think I can express that enough at how incredibly rare and remarkable that is for that age. It's truly mind boggling and absolutely commendable. And I hope his parents are proud of him.
Now, it's not that I ignore when I'm feeling badly, I kind of accept it. I let it in so that I can acknowledge it and do what I need to do to move past it. When I was younger, I wanted to be an engineer. I wanted to be an inventor who would catapult the world into a better future. Maybe this came from my love of Legos and the freedom of expression that I felt when I was building with them. And these was also derived from my family and my mentors, who always make me feel whole and good about myself. Now today, my ambitions have changed a little bit. I'd like to go into the field of biology, maybe cell biology or genetics or biochemistry or really anything. And this is a friend of mine who I look up to, Francis Collins, the director of the NIH, and this is us at TED last year, chatting away. I feel that no matter what I choose to become, I believe that I can change the world. And as I'm striving to change the world, I will be happy. About 4 years ago, HBO began to film a documentary about my family and me called Life According to Sam. Now, it was a pretty great experience, but it was also 4 years ago. And like anyone, my views on many things have changed and hopefully matured, like my potential career choice. However, some things have stayed the same throughout that time, like my mentality and philosophy towards life. So I would like to show you a clip of my younger self from the film that I feel embodies that philosophy. I know more about it genetically. So it's less of an embodiment now. It used to be like this thing that prevents me from doing all this stuff that causes other kids to die, that causes everybody to be stressed, and now it's, a protein that is abnormal that weakens the structure of cells. And it takes a burden off of me because now I don't have to think about Progeria as an entity.
See, that's amazing. The fact that he can think that even 4 years ago, which he would have been like, what, 13, is just insane. The fact that, and I think that's a great philosophy in itself, is that we can take our problems and stop making it seem so like scary, like it's the monster in our closet or under our beds. It's truly, problems have a true identity, and they all have a root problem within itself. It's usually a much larger, bigger issue, but once you can destructurize and pull apart the like facade of the fear and the titles and the identities of the problem, and you can find that root issue, then that's when truly things become much easier to accomplish and not everything seems so scary. um, I'm just blown away by Sam, and I think this is truly what makes him an inspiration, and I'm so glad I picked this as the first episode.
Okay, pretty good, huh? Yep. Thank you. So, as you can see, I've been thinking this way for many years, but I'd never really had to apply all of these aspects of my philosophy to the test at one time until last January. I was pretty sick. I had a chest cold, and I was in the hospital for a few days. I was secluded from all of the aspects of my life that I felt made me me, that kind of gave me my identity. But knowing that I was going to get better and looking forward to a time that I would feel good again helped me to keep moving forward. And sometimes I had to be brave, and it wasn't always easy. Sometimes I faltered, I had bad days, but I realized that being brave isn't supposed to be easy. And for me, I feel it's the key way to keep moving forward. So, all in all, I don't waste energy feeling bad for myself. I surround myself with people that I want to be with, and I keep moving forward. So, with this philosophy, I hope that all of you, regardless of your obstacles, can have a very happy life as well. Oh, wait, hang on a sec. One more piece of advice. Never miss a party if you can help it. My school's homecoming dance is tomorrow night, and I will be there. Thank you very much.
See, I love that. I'm so glad that I picked this for the first episode. I there's so much heartwarming emotions that go with and do a lot of TED Talks, especially when you hear people that have lived through ailments, problems, tragedies, that sort of thing, and survive and thrive off of knowing their past experiences and could provide for a better future for others, especially themselves, is just amazing. It's part of what I love about TED Talks. And I hope that at least one other person out here watching this video has come to learn to love TED Talks after this one. But regardless, I love this. If you guys would like to see more of these, I would love to do more. I still might. If you have any suggestions for any other TED Talks, go ahead and link them below. DM me on social media. I'm on Instagram. Um, you can feel free to do that at any time. It's just at Baleigh Shortreed _official. You can go ahead and DM me there or send me a link or just tag me in any TED Talk. That would work as well. Thank you all for watching. And if you guys would like to share this video, go ahead and share Sam's video. I would greatly appreciate it. Truly an inspiration he is. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.